did you know that emotions are basically balls of energy? Energy that can get trapped in the body, specifically negative energy that can get trapped in the body, can get lodged in our tissues. It could directly affect our physiology and the way our brains work. It can alter, even damage, albeit temporarily, our brain function. And that's what I want to talk about today. When your emotions get trapped and you're not able to release those emotions, usually we can release emotions, but for those emotions, those balls of emotional energy, they get trapped in our bodies. That is what we would call trauma, or is a result of trauma directly. Have you ever noticed yourself maybe hear a certain sound, a certain voice, certain words, a certain song, something familiar? Have you ever heard noticed yourself when you heard the sound of something scary or alarming, or when you thought back on a more negative situation in your life, in your past? And did you notice yourself tense up? And did you notice your thoughts, your thought patterns respond as if you were still currently living that very scenario from the past? This would be a response from trapped emotional bodies of energy in the body due to something traumatic to the brain. Just examples. I'm just wondering if you ever had that physical response to a thought or remembering something, that tensing, that same kind of response that you would have if you were still in that very situation today. If you were in that very scenario right now, that is how your body would react. Do you ever notice yourself responding and reacting that way? Yes, like I said, trauma, a stuck emotional body of energy in the body. And did you know those emotional balls of energy could be 10, 20, 50, 80 years old, just still stuck in your body? These are the things that we need to work on releasing, because sometimes they don't get released. Namely, like I said, when there's been trauma. I do not yet know how to go about releasing those emotions, those balls of energy. Sorry to disappoint, but I'm going to find out, because I'm Zandra the Explorer. And part of healing is, face it, each and every one of us has trauma, has had a traumatic event, traumatic experience. Each and every one of us has this going on in our physiology, in our bodies presently. And it could be like 20, 30, 40, 60 years old, but it's still there and still operating in you. This is not good. These are the very things that cause disease, the very thing that causes so many sicknesses, cancers, you name it, is stuck bad energy in your body. Or, yeah, it is, because emotions are energy. Emotions are what propel you and what run, and because they're energy. And sometimes I think I get it. When people in certain scenarios thrive off of these very emotions that trigger fight and flight, that trigger that stress hormone, simply because it's energy. And energy is the thing that makes something happen, makes something trigger. And sometimes we need that, especially if we are used to living in fight or flight, used to living in cortisol overload. We have learned to live and thrive off that response. And so I think as the explorer, I think, in my opinion, that I've solved it. Some people still stuck in those brain patterns need something to trigger, which would be energy, to trigger something to happen. A lot of us can use this kind of energy to propel us. We can actually take it and use it to push us where we need to be pushed. However, to hold on to this stuck energy will also cause you a plethora of diseases and great sickness. When I find out because this is pivotal to healing in myself and in all of you. When I find out how to release these stuck balls of energy, emotions that are also genetically altering, mind you, you're going to be the first to know from Zandra the Explorer.